What's going on? Welcome to Now to Play Games. I'm one of your hosts, John, and with me is the world's leading crash conspiracist, Finn.
I called it.
Rose
called it, Finn.
Rose called today in my DMs that you would not be able to pronounce the word conspiracist.
Conspiracist. What?
Yes.
I thought you were going to change it to conspiracy theorist.
Yeah, he plowed through it. He was like, I'm getting through this word if it kills me.
I got this.
Yeah.
That's going to be a new thing. Like, Finn and Rose are just getting together, and I'm just going to read something. I'm not going to see it until we start streaming, and then I'm just going to read it off, and we're going to butcher our way through that. Hey guys, what's going on, Finn? How are you doing? How are you? How's your energy, actually?
Good, feeling good about that Nintendo Direct that we're going to be talking about later in the show, because they confirmed that Crash will be the final DLC character for Super Smash Bros. Ultimate.
Did they really?
They did,
Are we
yes.
adding on to this like conspiracy theorist thing?
Yeah.
Is it,
well, like,
is that,
it's not a conspiracy theory, it's a conspiracy fact, I'll have you know at this point.
I really do
proven.
hope. Okay, so I'm going to be absolutely honest. Part of me wants this to happen because I want you to be happy, and I want you to see the pain that it'll go through, because I will hold true to my bet. I will 100% hold true to my bet that we will do a 12-hour stream and play all the Crash games. Whichever one comes first. 12 hours, or if I beat all the games.
Yeah, for anyone confused, we can get this out of the way now before we go into the actual Nintendo Direct stuff later in the show. They announced that there's going to be the final Smash DLC character Direct on the 5th of October. Immediately after is when they showed the Kirby game that is a 3D platformer that we'll be talking about later in the show, and it opens with a shot of Kirby waking up on a beach, and then it cuts to this shot that you're seeing on your screens now that looks exactly like Insanity Beach. It's a sign. It's a sign. Who designed many Kirby games? Sakurai, alright? Who just like is the most powerful character in Smash Bros? Kirby. Who is now moving into the world of 3D platforming revolutionized by Crash? Kirby. It's proven.
This is, you know, your string theory is there. I'm not going to give you crap on that one. I wish we could get a picture of you with Charlie Day's face where he's got just everything going around and it all points to God. We got to make that, Rose. Let's go ahead and figure out how to make that where it's just like Finn freaking out and like it's Crash and whatnot.
I'm not familiar with Charlie Day. Are you talking about the guy who plays Luigi?
I'm talking about the guy who plays Luigi. Yes,
Mario
in the
motion picture. Right. Got it.
Yeah, the December 21st, 2022 Mario movie that we will be talking about here in just a little bit. Finn, I want to, before we really jump in, I want to know how you react to this. I picked up Marvel's Avengers, Crystal Dynamics, Marvel's Avengers over the week. I to be honest, I was actually sick on Monday from work and Tuesday. Monday, I was like, screw it, I'm just gonna buy it. First off, I hate the idea that Rose is connected to my PlayStation 5 and I buy a game and then all of a sudden I get a text from Rose. She was at work, I was at home. She goes, enjoy Marvel. And I'm like, son of a bitch. It downloaded and says it's ready for you to play too. And I'm like, I don't like that. What if I want to buy a dirty game? All right. And Rose is like, enjoy.
Please. Like you would buy a dirty game and not tell me.
Enjoy Sucker Spirit, John. And I'm like, no, don't get off my back.
Yeah, it's problems that I don't have. I get to buy all the hentai games I want because I'm an adult and live on my own.
Look, I was at work minding my own business, and then I get this push message saying, oh, hey, Marvel's Avengers is ready for you to play. And I was just like, well, he's been talking about getting it. Let me freak him out.
It was on sale. It was on sale. I'm about 2 hours in, I think. Once I got to the Hulk, I had a smile on my face. Oh my God, that game is so much fun. I didn't think it would be. I was just like, I got bullied in by a specific influencer person that I listen to a lot. And I was like, screw it, I'll just do it.
Name them. Name and shame.
I'm not going to name. It's Greg Miller, buddy. It is Kind of Funny Games, Greg Miller. That bitch like literally goes, you guys need it. It's an awful game. It's not a 10 out of 10 game, but you're going to like it. Play with your friends. And I'm like, all right, I don't have any friends, but I'll go ahead and pick it up the first player because none of my friends actually want to play this game with me. I tried. Yeah. I've said I would even buy it for you guys. I've said that. But no one wants to play this game with me. So I was like, screw it. I'll do it by myself. I'll play the first player. I'll play the single player by myself. And once I got like Miss Marvel is actually a lot of fun when you're playing as Miss Marvel, but when I got to the Hulk, you just Hulk smash shit, and it is so much freaking fun. I cannot wait to... It feels actually really good. I'm going to be honest with you. It feels good to play. Like, the flying is a little wonky, but being as Cap throwing the shield was a lot of fun. Throwing Mjolnir or Mew Mew, that was great. So far I've had a blast with it. Rose is laughing off screen. I hate that. Mew Mew. Mew Mew. Mew Mew. Mjolnir. With that, welcome to Now to Play Games, your weekly news dump about all the video game news you need to know about. We do this live every Sunday at 4 p.m. Central, 10 p.m. British, here on twitch.tv/Now to Play Games, with the exclusive post-show party for all you here now at twitch.tv/Now to Play Games. Thank you for following. If you can't hang out with us here live, no worries, we got you covered. Just search Now to Play Games over on YouTube, subscribe to the Now to Play Games YouTube channel, and bam, all the Now to Play videos you need, whether it be Now to Play Games, you two, I see both of you in my screen just, and I'm like, I cannot stand.
John, the intro is very long. I need something to do to entertain the people.
Go to Now to Play Games on the YouTube channel. Find us on all the podcasting services. Follow us at Now to Play Games. It's on Twitch, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, OnlyFans. I'm sure we have a MySpace. I don't give a damn how you find us, but you tell your friends. Go ahead and follow these three idiots that actually talk to you about video game stuff. Be awesome with us, because we talk about video games and we talk to you about video games. This is already off the rails. We got three stories for you, including the banger that was the Nintendo Direct. Perfect Dark is now a quadruple A game. And do you guys need more Star Wars? I hate both of you right now.
We do not have a MySpace, I checked.
Oh, we don't have MySpace? Okay.
We don't have a MySpace, but how will we know what sick tunes are coming up?
Okay, I will make sure
I'm
we get a MySpace.
I'm surprised anyone's here if they didn't hear about it on MySpace, to be honest.
I'll get us a MySpace then. I'll get that taken care of. I hate you both. All right, let's just jump right into the first story, because we got a beefy podcast for you guys, and it is Quantic Dream is making a Star Wars game, possibly. Let's go ahead. This is all rumors. Rose, let's bring it back. It is time for the spicy index counter. We've had it when we were a podcast formerly known by something else, but now it is back. Finn, I'm gonna read to you now from Good Video Games Chronicle. This is Adam Robinson. That's according to a French YouTuber. Rose, I'm gonna butcher it. I don't care. Gateau,
Gotas, I think.
There it is. Who claimed this week that the Detroit Become Human and Heavy Rain developer, helmed by designer David Cage, has signed a deal with Disney. Now it has 3-game contract. Now that its 3-game contract has ended with Sony. Now that they finished their contract with Sony and will be signing with Disney, he said in a video this week, it looks like they are working on a Star Wars game. The claim was later corroborated by reliable games industry insider Tom Henderson, who posted a cryptic Star Wars and Detroit Become Human mashup on Twitter. It literally is Detroit Become Human, the crossing over two lightsabers. Spicy Index.
It's here for people to see.
We have it up. Rose, now I understand why you said you wanted a cartoon of Finn. Where do you fall, Finn, on our Spicy Index rumor about this? We getting a Quantic Dream Star Wars video game.
Not that spicy. A little spicy. Let me explain.
Okay, talk to me.
It confuses me, this story, because obviously Quantic Dream, as you mentioned in the article, had a 3-game deal with Sony. That has now ended. They're free to do other things. So they decided to do like the Star Wars stuff, but it feels weird because like they must have knew the license was coming up. But as far as I'm aware, EA had the license until, what was it, last year, and then that summed up. So like they couldn't put pen to paper until then, I would imagine. So like, have they just been sitting on something for all these years since Detroit Become Human came out? I have no idea. So that's the only part of the rumor, other than the fact that I don't know this rumor guy, Gatos, or whoever he is. Don't know if he's leaked anything before like this, so I'll have to stay in touch with that. But yeah, like, it's not that spicy in that Star Wars licenses are being handed out like cake right now. You know what I mean? Everyone's getting a pop, so like, why not Quantic Dream? It's an interesting way to go with it. I feel like Star Wars choice-based story games is definitely something that people would have wanted for a long time.
Yeah.
So I think this is going to appeal to a lot of people who like those kind of games. I'm not that into it. And again, like, this very well could be something that someone plucked out of the air, or it could be something real. It just doesn't get me going, you know, John?
Okay, and just to let everyone know, Tom Henderson is actually from DualShockers. That's where this concept, DualShockers being a little more legitimate, that's where there's like a little more gas on the fire. That is this Quantic Dream Star Wars thing. I'm gonna keep it in the middle right now. I think this is a tantalizing tale on our official Now to Play Games Spicy Rumor Index, mainly because I fully agree with the idea of like, what the hell have they been doing since Detroit Become Human came out? That was 2015, 16, I believe. And so it's 2021. That game, if they've been working on it for, I mean, we know games take a long time. So for all we know, they have been working on something, and then was like, oh, hey, we can adapt this to a Star Wars game, or maybe they were just working on a Star Wars game, because everyone knows when contracts end, like, you have an idea of like, all right, the contract's going to end around here. That's kind of not knowledge that most people know, but you can go searching and find it. And so maybe they had the idea of like, hey, we're going to go ahead and start this, and then when it finally like falls or the contract expires, then we can go into Disney and be like, hey guys, we have this idea, let's go. Because there's a huge gap. I'm sure these games take forever, or actually all games take forever. Video game development takes forever. It is a 3 to 5 year commitment. And so this popping up right now is a little odd, but like you said, like, Disney has started just handing everything out to everyone. Ubisoft is making a giant open world game. We're getting all sorts of different ones, and the EA's just doesn't have it anymore. I think the only person that now is working on a Star Wars game, I think, is Respawn. Respawn still has some stuff under the EA umbrella, but everything else is getting passed out. So I think this is an astonishing tale, mainly because I freaking love Detroit Become Human. I thought it was great. I don't know. I'm trying to figure out what they would do with this. Like, is it just one of the games? Like, the choice-based game, do we get to pick that out? Or are we actually going to like fight with lightsabers? Do we not even have lightsabers at all? Like, what do you think that this gameplay would actually be if this game come to fruition?
I don't think you control the character in any meaningful sense. Maybe an analog swing for a lightsaber, but that's about all I can see. I feel like it's going to be a very traditional Quantic Dream game. I feel like this is something that they've jumped on because they wanted to do it for a long time. Yeah. Who doesn't want to tell a story in the Star Wars universe? So it's going to be interesting. Yeah, I think it's going to be a very traditional, what Quantic Dream fans would expect from something like this. Interesting I wonder, are they going to do a route where they sort of cover a lot of the movie stuff or go their own route? A lot of people have found success with like making their own little corners of the Star Wars community. I haven't watched it yet, but Star Wars Visions, obviously it's not canon, but it's liberated in that way where you get to use the IP, but use it in a creative way that no one's really done before. So I would hope they tackle something different, because man, like, I love Darth Vader, but I never want to see the man again, like, in any meaningful sense. One of the things that was interesting to me, John, is just like considering how Lucasfilm Games is established now to where you can license out this IP to multiple different game developers and do many different types of games. And it was really interesting to me because the stories come out this week about Quantic Dream, the studio heads David Cage, and the other head whose name escapes me right now. Basically, they won a successful suit for libel and lost another one against another French outlet. This relates back to the allegations of a toxic management in that studio, a lot of different things. So it's interesting because in the days of the exclusive EA license of Star Wars, basically if you were a Star Wars fan and also a video game fan, you were basically locked into EA. You just have to deal with whatever they give you. But now you're in a situation where, okay, if Quantic Dream Star Wars game is coming out and I don't want to support that, there's like 10 other Star Wars games in development, right? We got Ubisoft's one, we got whatever Respawn are doing. Not that Ubisoft is itself a bastion.
Yeah, I was like, hold on, we're talking about that.
Let's stuff that you might want to support, but it's interesting now. People have a lot of different options and stuff, and for creators as well, they have a lot of different ways that can go about it. So yeah, for this, I think it's just going to be Quantic Dream's take on it, and it's going to be the most Quantic Dream thing possible in the Star Wars universe.
Yeah, that lawsuit they won was against Le Monde, if I remember correctly. I think that's
they
the
won
one
the
they
suit
won
against Le Monde. They lost the suit against the other outlet, I believe.
Yeah. I think as much as I would love for them to like go outside and do something a little more different, I don't think they can. I think you know what you're getting when it comes to a Quantic Dream game. Like, yeah, Heavy Rain, a little dated, clunky controls, but you still have the QTs, the QuickTime events. The same thing with Detroit Become Human. I can speak a little more to that one because Couch Basic Rose played it, so I was able to actually kind of enjoy it a little bit more than the little bit that I played of the first one on the PlayStation 3. And I just don't see the idea. I see the idea of them telling a story and being able to like balance out the light and the dark and the Jedi thing and just doing what you would do. I think that'd be a lot of fun, especially with how they tell their story. I just don't know like how much deeper you can get. Like we're milking the Star Wars IP dry. Like we're at a point where we just need to put it on the shelf and forget about it for like 10 years and then come back. I'm fine with, and again, the video games, that's fine. But I seriously don't know if I truly want this. Like, not saying anything against Quantic Dream or anything like that. It's just where does it fit now in a multitude of different games? And yeah, it's different. We're not if we're not swinging lightsabers, we're not shooting anything. It'll be a completely different game than most Star Wars games. So I think that would be interesting, and that's what interests me about this thing. But past that, like I don't know how this goes about doing its thing.
Well, I think that's the point of Star Wars where it's at now, right? And I feel like a lot of fans of that series going back to the original movies have to accept the fact now that they simply cannot consume all Star Wars related media. It's just not possible. And I feel like it's at this point now where they literally can't put it on a shelf and let it dry for 10 years. They have to just like keep putting out different things there. Hopefully they're all like unique and creative and people can just come and pick and choose. Like, again, I think it's this sort of different philosophy where they had the EA license and EA make a very specific type of game, Battlefront, and only recently, like towards the end of the contract, did they make Jedi Fallen Order, which is a kind of different style of game. Yeah. But now, again, like with basically all Disney IP, Disney as a whole getting back into video games in different ways, like you can just license this thing out to different developers and have their own unique take on it. And like, I don't think they're expecting like Star Wars fans who don't like this type of storytelling in games to go out and pick up Quantic Dreams one. They might prefer like an open world RPG like Ubisoft, or they might prefer something else entirely. So yeah, I guess people get to pick and choose now. This won't be something I pick or choose, but people will. I have a big friend who I have a friend who's like really big into.
Oh, that's good. I like that. That being said, I would pick this up. I'd try it out because again, I think you hit the nail on the head. Mainly on it's a different take, and you know what? Yeah, I can see to your point on you can't let it dry. Mainly because it is something different. Like you just said, Star Wars Legends, and people are just eating that alive and enjoying the shit out of that. From what I've seen, we haven't started yet. I also didn't know they were just 11-minute episodes. I think that's great.
Yeah, super consumable.
It's very consumable, very easy. Very, very fun to do that stuff. You know what else was fun this week, guys? That I'm still like on a high and I'm still very tired from it because I was not prepared. It was the Nintendo Direct that we had. Holy shit, kittens, Grandma. That thing was so good and just over the freaking top. But we have to, you, Finn, you and myself, we have to talk about something. As I was doing some research on this article, how to actually approach this, because I mean, if you want to see our review or our reaction, we have the live stream over on the YouTube channel. Now to Play Games, find that one. It was me, it was Finn, it was Keith, Rose in the back end helping us out, doing all that stuff, screaming when Brewster showed up. That was fun. That was a blast. I always love doing that. But something from Kotaku caught my eye, and I'm like, we need to talk about this real fast. Mainly because I truly don't understand this in one lane, but I get it in another lane. So let's talk about spoilers. This is Brian Ashcroft from Kotaku. Hours before Thursday's Nintendo Direct, announcements liked Kotaku and other gaming sites. There we go. I read that completely wrong. Inevitably published the relevant news. That was expected, but the online pushback wasn't. This is talking about Kirby's game. The Kirby game that was actually announced 6 hours before we even talked about it on the stream. Some fans were upset. In the past, these leaks would be called breaking news. In 2021, they're spoilers, at least according to some hardcore fans. On Twitter, for example, one Nintendo fan site took down its tweet with the leaked game title and image after being called out. Even after the Nintendo Direct ended, some Twitter users were putting in spoiler-type warnings as a courtesy for those who hadn't watched the presentation. Spoiler culture has arrived for advertisements. Kind of. And I follow the one track of spoilers, and I don't want to call it spoilers because I don't think it's fully spoilers. And I follow that, like, you don't want to lose the magic. But I also follow the idea of it's news. And the closest thing I could fully relate to this, and I'm going to go sports for everyone now, is trying not to hear the ending, the final score of the Super Bowl. And I know there's people that do it because you've got friends who actually like get together. Maybe they can't get together. You're starting it late because you're watching it or something like that. And that's the only thing I could really, really think of when it comes to that. But
John,
yes,
Finn looks very bored. I need you to relate this to wrestling.
So when it comes to wrestling, what you need to do is you don't want to be on Twitter when you find out someone pile drive someone else and someone came screaming out of the goal or whatever the hell it is in the background of the stage, running down there and just beating the shit out of someone with a freaking chair.
Yep. Yeah, there you go.
You don't want to know John Cena showing back up or The Rock or something like that. Or Rey Mysterio, okay? I could pull something like Hulk Hogan showing back up. I don't know. I think that would be a really big thing. I'm not 100% sure. I know Andre the Giant is no longer with us, rest in peace, but if he showed back up, I think that would be a big thing. And you don't want that.
Andre the Giant showing back up would be a very big deal, I think. For the reason you mentioned, the man is dead.
We are off the damn rails, everyone.
I feel like that whole segment you were acting as if that's like sarcasm. That is legitimately a thing. There are wrestling spoilers. If you go onto the wrestling subreddit the day after a show, there will be spoiler tags all over the thing so you don't miss anything. Like, because, that's totally a thing. And it's the exact same with this. I feel like, I wonder how many people care about this outside the Twitter sphere.
Yeah.
I know I definitely care about it. I was one of those, back when I was in school, I used to like E3 conferences because of the way the times were. Sony's used to be on like 2 or 3 a.m. for us. Mm-hmm. And it was normally on a school night. It was normally that Monday or Tuesday. So I wouldn't set up to watch it, and it would be a thing where I would plan to go home at lunchtime with my friends that day and like go up and watch the conference, but like there'd be talk of what was announced in the halls of the school that day, and I just had to like walk through with my ears shut. I was like, I don't want to know what game was announced.
No, shut up.
So I definitely feel that. I feel like it's inescapable in today's world for the most part.
Yeah.
For this specific Nintendo Direct, I was able to catch the warning that Nibble tweeted out on Twitter.
Nibble, thank you.
Rebellion. He was like, a big title has leaked. Probably best to stay off Twitter because there's probably more coming. And I was like, okay, I'm out. Yeah. It's something interesting for us because obviously we do the pre-show and we do live reactions to the stuff, and we want to be current. We want to be appeal to our audience when we're doing live reactions and stuff like that. But we don't know, like, does our audience consider spoilers? Is this something we want to talk about in the pre-show? We were even struggling with that with Kirby during our pre-show for this prediction. So it's a bit up the air. It's a different thing to different people. Like, for example, I don't watch movie trailers at all anymore because movie trailers
You and another buddy of mine. No. Another buddy of mine is just like, I don't watch trailers anymore. I know quick tangent. He was adamant that like we would not get a Spider-Man 3 Far From Home trailer or a No Way Home trailer. Like he even was like, I saw it on like somewhere on social media that they're going to not even show us a trailer. So people would be like surprised and shocked by what's going on with that one. First, I thought he was absolutely insane on that one. But I actually kind of follow that logic of not watching trailers anymore because trailers really do spoil without you knowing that they spoiled.
Well, it's the intention to spoil now. It's the intention to like, because social media is such a big thing now.
Yeah.
Movie makers are intending to go out and put like as many like, oh shit moments in the trailer. And normally those are giant story beats that people want to know about or characters that weren't announced showing up, and like it's immediately part of the conversation on Twitter, and I just have to block it all out now. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I'll just watch it when it's out. But yeah, I definitely think it's the thing with game trailers where it's sort of different because games are so large and there's only so much you can show in a 5-minute trailer. Again, well, that's spoilery for you is different. Like there's weird ones where like they'll show like Deathloop at a conference like 2 days before it's out, and like Deathloop's a weird one because we didn't know what was happening with that anyway. But like games that are like story driven, like what was it, the like Dark Pictures anthology, Last of Us, like they
Last
show
of Us
up
Part 2.
and it's like 2 weeks before the release date. It's like, why are you even showing me? Just let me get through the 2 weeks. Let me play the damn game.
Well, I was also thinking about too. I think I could say the spoiler warning on this one, like them taking Joel out of, or putting Joel into specific scenes and shots when that wasn't him and it was another character through those trailers, and people were just completely upset because you, as Naughty Dog, people were like, you lied to us, and sort of they did. But sort of they were kind of taking away the spoiler warning because what do we do on the internet? Like you and I, we've done it. I know Rose has done it. We don't do it as bad because I've seen other people do it where you just head first in, frame by frame, and you're trying to figure things out and trying to put this all together. And so I'm like, okay, Naughty Dog, I think they did the right thing by red herring you instead of just here's the game, here's the trailer, and then, oh, by the way, it's got to be a different day, guys, because the sun and the shadow is like 3% off of where it was supposed to be on this scene, but we don't really understand how the game concept actually works. So I just how the line of time works in this game. And so I just wonder, like, what technically is a spoiler, what technically is an advertisement?
It's hard to know where to draw the line for me. It's a situation where I'll try and avoid as much as I can before a conference, but basically, like, you get into the discussion of leaks, and are leaks news or are leaks spoilers. Yeah. For me, it's a situation where, like, if you're dumb like Nintendo and post up on your own website, or
that was
Walmart
their fault.
Canada, like, yeah, if it's on Walmart Canada for some reason, like, that's on you. That's news at that point. Like, you messed up. But the ones that are like going into data things, like pulling out little things, it's like this file on a website says that Dying Light 3 is coming out in 2023. Like, it's like, why even bother? You know,
why are you doing
seeking out
that
to
much?
spoil yourself and the rest of the internet. Like, that's not journalism at that point. That's just going out to like feel the rush. You know, it's like, oh, I know something other people don't know.
I can I'm in, and you're just, oh, come on, man. Like, okay, Nintendo screwed up. They posted it, and that will end and actually go into the direct after I ask this question. Is it now a spoiler if Nintendo goes, hey, from their official account, I have their tweets when they tweet, I get them, and it's like, here's the trailer to Kirby the Forgotten Land. Like, is that a spoiler, especially during the direct? Because you know that's what happens. The direct's going on, and here's the actual single trailer, and here's the actual single trailer. Is that now, are we in that point where that is a spoiler, or is it just, it's Nintendo doing their thing, that's an advertisement, and sucks to suck if you're not there like, you're not there to feel the magic that is being the direct. You have to wait 20 minutes or an hour or a day later to watch it.
Mm-hmm. Well, like the directs now, like things like these press conferences, they're called press conferences for a reason. They were for press exclusively at the beginning, and they sort of morphed into, as E3 got bigger and bigger, this giant like entertainment affair that you need to be current on. So for me, like, no, at the end of the day, they're advertisements, and if you really have a problem with it, like, tailor your feed to it.
Yeah. Yes.
I try and be like as non-abrasive as possible. For example, like when I'm making thumbnails for live reactions, I normally try and put the game on there that isn't like the big deal, but is a big deal that you probably already had a fair idea going in that this was going to be here. Yeah. So like I try and tailor it that way. I'm always thinking about it in terms of like your audience. I try not to spoil the big thing, or like normally when I'm doing timestamps, instead of writing what the one more thing is, I'll write just one more thing. Yeah. Yeah.
I do that with a big surprise or something like that. Because I follow that. Our thumbnails need to be like us going.
Because it is a special thing. It is a thing that I really love. And again, going back to E3, I just love that feeling of just being surprised. We're humans. We like to be surprised by things.
Exactly.
So I'd say, do your best to avoid it. Don't feel bad if you can't. I'd say, like, again, tailor your Twitter feeds. My Twitter feed is just a mess because it's entirely gaming news. That's what I use Twitter for now. It's
Yeah.
just consuming
And
gaming
wrestling.
news and wrestling.
And wrestling.
Not anymore. Not much anymore.
What? Really?
I sort of stay off of that on Twitter.
Sacrilege.
That's mostly Reddit now, even though that's a cesspool in and of itself. But I try and use like different social media for different things, and I know every time I open Twitter, like there's a chance I might be spoiled. I'm running that risk every time, but also I do a weekly gaming news podcast. So
I was like, we do a weekly gaming news podcast, and we have
Yeah, it's
RSS feeds going into our Discord, so we keep an idea of what's flowing.
Yeah,
which I love that we have some that just it's entertainment in general. So like some of the stuff I'm like, oh shit, that just dropped. Like because season 3 of The Witcher, that just got announced, and I'm like, cool, that's great.
Because IGN have like 40 RSS feeds, and there's IGN news and there's IGN games, but there's no IGN games news. So I had to decide whether to like do all IGN news or like IGN games, but like there's a bunch of opinion stuff in there, which isn't something we need like right in the moment.
We're giving you our opinions on that. That's all that really matters.
IGN, make a new RSS feed. You already have like 40. Come on.
Yeah, actually, they really do. Yeah, I don't even want to get on their YouTube channel.
I miss RSS feeds. You know, I feel like they're disappearing. The internet's becoming something I don't really want it to be, and it was just so like. Whenever we set up that bot in the Discord, I was just like so happy, like RSS feed still exists, and I can still like get rid of the stupid ads. Anyway, Fin rant over.
Let's jump into the highlights of this. I will get us out of this death spin that is RSS feeds and people not liking them or people loving them. Let's hit the highlights. If you want a full reaction of everything, again, go to youtube.com. Go find us on Now to Play Games. We can hook you up on that one. But the highlights. Finn, I'm going to have a little game. We're going to do a little fun game. As we're going through these games, I wanted to ask you, the questions are, is this a day one pickup? And 2, is this something you are going after, or you think anyone should go after on the 2022 Now to Play Games Fantasy Draft? I want that in because I want people to follow us. I want people to find that draft. I want people to be ready for that stream that will happen sometime in December or January where we're all 5 of us, all Now to Play Games team. We're going to go in. We're going to do the year-long draft of video games, and we've got a stacked first half of 2022.
Oh my god, it's going to be so
let's just start out with the big one. One of the big ones, the one that got spoiled. I'm sorry, everyone. Kirby and The Last of Us. I'm sorry, no, it's Kirby and the Forgotten Land. That is the first game that was just, it's there. It looks awesome. The next Kirby game adventure on the Nintendo Switch system is going 3D. Come to find out, this is actually the first actual full 3D Kirby game. In this new 3D platforming game, players can freely navigate areas using familiar Kirby copy abilities. What lies in store for Kirby as he explores the mysterious setting filled with abandoned structures from a past civilization? Find out when Kirby and the Forgotten Lands launches on Nintendo Switch spring 2022. Please, Kirby, watch out for Ellie. She will F you up. That's all I'm going to say.
Day one pickup.
Day one pickup? I think day one pickup.
Immediate day one pickup. This is so bizarre, unique, different from Kirby. Even when it got leaked, all I knew there was a new Kirby game and I was expecting a side scroller. So I feel like that was like the best possible version of that leak, is knowing like that little snippet of information and then being completely blindsided when it opens like this as a 3D platformer. It looks gorgeous. It looks so different. Again, like it has this Last of Us world. The implications, what's going on in Kirby's world is going to be so fun. It's interesting. It looks more like Super Mario 3D Land than Mario Odyssey. I was like calling this Kirby Odyssey as we were watching the direct. I guess because, you're not controlling the camera. It's more 3D Land stuff. But yeah, I'm super, super down for this. Every shot of this trailer is like something I can pause and just like look at for a while and just like pick out different things.
Yeah. This game's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
Like I like the backdrop of it. Like I'm very interested. They gave us just enough like Kirby being in this weird green post-apocalyptic concept, and everyone's still, all the Kirby people are still there, but you got Kirby himself, and I really truly want to know what else is going on in this game just in general. And I agree. I think this is a day one pickup. I'm sure someone's going to grab it on our fantasy league. I'm trying to remember. I don't think Kirby games actually review very well. I think they're in the mid 70s.
I was going to say this is a day one pickup for me, but I'm absolutely not picking this up on my fantasy league.
Yeah, I think
just because it's an unknown. It's an unknown factor.
Exactly. This is also the 4th Kirby game on the Nintendo Switch. I just want everyone to know that when you really think about that, the 4th game, Kirby game on the Nintendo Switch.
Right. But this feels to me like the switchiest Kirby game there's been so far. This feels like the stuff you would get at the beginning, where like Breath of the Wild's so out there and crazy, like Mario Odyssey, like, yes, this feels like they're just going for it with Kirby, you know what I mean? They're just taking Kirby and like, you know what, let's try something with this. We got the Switch. So yeah, I'm super, super down for this game. 100% in. Don't pick it up when you're trying to legal overview at a 76.
Yeah, it won't get you too many points on that one. But yeah, I also agree with you on the idea of just it is Super Mario. It's Kirby Super Mario 3D Land. Just how that camera was. I think that's actually a very, very good point. More Mario Land than Mario Odyssey. I would be remiss though if I did not say anything about Animal Crossing and the Animal Crossing Direct that you beautiful Animal Crossing fans are going to get in October, and the Brewster update is what I'm going to call it right now until we actually have an official update, is coming out in November. Rose, if you just want to jump in real fast and tell us what you think, because
what's the big idea with the Roost? People are going nuts.
Like, tell us about the Roost real fast. I kind of know what it is, but I want an actual Animal Crossing fan to tell us.
Okay, so I never played with the Roost very much in New Leaf, but it's just this. So there's a pigeon bartender or barista, and he just makes coffee for everybody. And like, you can go work at the cafe. You'll get all kinds of people coming in, your villagers, other villagers. And it's good times. You make everybody coffee. They love it. It deepens your relationships with them. And Brewster is adorable.
Typical Animal Crossing stuff.
Do you work at the cafe?
You can work at the cafe and get some bells.
Nice.
Okay. I'm down with that. Like,
just a waitress.
Yes, you are.
Cocktail bar.
Yeah, I don't see a problem here.
Yeah. I had no input for Animal Crossing beyond that. That was that's my whole extent. That's why my brain defaulted to an 80s song.
This is the last update was actually in March with the Sanrio Sweetness cards. So this is kind of why it's been pretty big. It's been fairly. Oh, Rose is coming in. Hold up.
Those cards were from the last game.
Oh,
those cards were from the last game. They got updated and added to New Horizon, but those cards were actually in New Leaf.
The New Leaf cards. Okay,
yes.
What's
new is we will be getting a Season 5 Animal Crossing cards or Series 5 Animal Crossing cards. So that's
okay. There you go. Keeping you up to date on your Animal Crossing stuff with you people who don't play Animal Crossing, but we do have someone who does. Congratulations. That is absolutely fantastic. The Nintendo 64 and Sega consoles are actually coming to the Nintendo Switch Online. Sweet Jesus. It is actually happening. This is from Nintendo's site itself. Nintendo Switch Online Plus Expansion Pack is the stupidest name on the face of this planet. A new membership plan is coming to Nintendo Switch Online in late October with classic Nintendo 64 and Sega Genesis games, in addition to all the benefits of the Nintendo Switch Online, which I don't know what they actually are. I just pay for them. I don't think we need to get better online services. Memberships such as online play, access for growing library of NES and Super NES games, and more. Members can play select titles like Mario 64 online with up to 4 players for the first time ever. Additional accessories required, so separately, blah, 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 blah. The full list of Sega of the games. I'm going to run them down real fast. The launch lineup for the N64 is going to be Super Mario 64, Ocarina of Time, Mario Kart 64, Star Fox 64, Sin and Punishment. That's a great game, actually. Dr. Mario 64, Mario Tennis 64, Win Back, Yoshi's Story. With upcoming games to be added on the 64 is going to be Banjo and Kazooie, which is mind-blowing. Pokemon Snap, Majora's Mask, Kirby 64, The Crystal Shards, Mario Golf, Paper Mario, and F-Zero X. The launch lineup for the Sega looks like this, though. Sonic the Hedgehog 2, Streets of Rage 2, Echo the Dolphin, Castlevania Bloodlines, Contra Hardcore, which I played the shit out of with my little sister, Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, Golden Axe, Gunstar Heroes, Musha, I hope I said that right, Phantasy Star 4, Rystar, Shining Force, Shinobi 3, Return of the Ninja Master, and Strider. Finn, what's missing from this list, or what do you want to see coming to this list?
Oh, see, I wasn't a big 64 kid. I was on the PlayStation 1.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I'm an old person.
Yes, that was my... Yeah, you are an old person.
I'm an old person. I had a... actually, let's
John,
back there.
John is the olds.
I'm the
Yeah.
old guys.
We talked about it a bit on the reactions, but like we said, like Rare basically carried the 64 on their back for a long time, so more Rare games would be appreciated. I feel like GoldenEye is the big missing one there, for sure, for a lot of people, especially now that N64 controller is coming out. People are going to want to experience GoldenEye, and then realize it wasn't as good as they remembered, and then probably...
Yeah. There's a lot of late
cancel
nights,
their
sleepovers playing GoldenEye. That's what I remember. I expected it to be absolute garbage. I'm going to be honest with you. I wanted to grab it and play it like on my TV and see what it's like. I expected it to be garbage though. I'm with you. I was trying to think of one, and I was like, man, Jet Force Gemini. Shit, that's a Rare game. I was like, what's a good like N64 game? Like Quest 64. Let's get that in there. I heard that's actually pretty good. I was a Sega kid. I'll be honest. Like I had an N64. I skipped over the SNES and I went to Sega. And I think we're missing like a lot of good games. Like I think we need to get all the Streets of Rage in there. I do like that we have Contra Hardcore and Castlevania Bloodlines, but I think there's a game called Comic Zone that literally is you are a comic book artist, if I remember correctly, or a comic book store owner. You get sucked into the comic game, but every single level is panels of the comic. And what you have to do is you have to beat the bosses or beat the bad guys in the actual panel, and then the panel rips open and you go to the next area. It is literally one of the coolest. Like I remember being hard as shit when I was a kid, but I thought that just the idea behind that game where you just go through these panels and then like it literally is levels. Like if you're going through, let's say, word I'm looking for is Die Hard. Like the Die Hard game where you go through the actual floors. To get to the next level, you actually jump the panel and like you see your character hanging and falling, and you walk in and you go right to left, or left to right, right to left, and then you just drop down and you go down until you get to the last page, flip the page, and you go to the next level. It is one of the coolest things. I distinctly remember having so much fun and being so pissed off. It was my Dark Souls before Dark Souls was a thing.
Mm-hmm.
I think we need that.
Are the Genesis and the Mega Drive the same thing? Is that the one that had different...
Yes.
Names. Okay, yeah. So I recently played the remake of Monster World 4, or as it's now called, Wonder Boy Asha and Monster World. Mm-hmm. And that was one of those games where I was like, so it came with the remake, and I had the copy of the original. I platinumed both just to compare.
Yeah.
And it was one of those games where I was like, hey, the Genesis had some games. Like, it had some really cool games in there. Some really neat concepts that I feel like got lost in the shuffle. So yeah, I'm interested, maybe more interested to try out the Genesis side of things.
Yeah.
Because like things like Ego the Dolphin I never tried before. Phantasy Star, I've tried the first one before and got a little bit into it and was kind of excited. But I think 4 is the one that people really like hail as like one of the good RPGs in that series. So yeah, I'm probably more excited about the Genesis side, to be honest.
I kind of am too, to be honest with you. I said yes to your Mega Drive, but now I'm thinking, I think it is, but the carts in my head are too different now. Like the Mega Drive cart was a little different than the Sega cart. So I'm trying now in my head, like maybe I might be wrong on that one. I don't really remember. All right. So along with this, we're getting 2 controllers. We're getting an N64 controller and we're getting a 3-button Sega controller, unless you're in Japan, and then you're going to get something like this controller right here. You actually will get a 6-button Japan controller, which was pretty much designed for Street Fighter, if I remember correctly. Street Fighter Turbo on the Sega, I believe it was what it was. So you'd have the extra buttons to actually pull off combos and what like that. 8-bit dough, freaking love it. But I will do my damnedest to get the 6-button here in the States. If I have to get it shipped, I think that'd be really, really cool. I truly wonder why they did that though. Like just the 6-button is a little more niche, I guess, in a weird sense. But why only in Japan? I wish I kind of knew. I just don't understand why we're just not getting the 6-button.
I hate to say this, but my initial brain goes to Nintendo and Japanese gaming superiority. They feel like,
shit, you're probably right, actually.
The Europeans, the Americans, they don't know what to do with these extra 3 buttons.
No,
they all think we have more fingers than them.
I'll be absolutely honest. I'm pretty sure I had a 6-button on my Sega, and I never used X, Y, and Z. Because I remember playing Sonic, and I only had to use A and B. Yeah. I don't even think I remember why C was a thing playing Sonic the Hedgehog. Mm-hmm. I'm not sure. So this comes from Eurogamer, Matt Wales. As revealed during last night's Nintendo Direct, N64 and Mega Drive games are finally heading to Nintendo Switch Online, and they'll be accompanied by physical controllers inspired by both platforms. Over in Japan, Nintendo has also confirmed Mega Drive's much-loved 6-button pad variant will be available for purchase, but only in Japan. Finn, I think you might be right on the whole idea of Japanese gaming superiority.
Yeah. Those stupid Westerners. They don't know what they're doing.
We don't know what we're doing. Speaking of stupid Westerners, or at least those across the pond, Finn, I'm going to give you this one. I saw it. I'm not 100% sure. I know what it is, but I don't know how to actually explain it correctly. And you being on the other side out of that little pond, I want you to take this one for me.
Yeah. So this is the benefit of having a European on your podcast. You get these different takes. This is maybe something you didn't notice or care about, but basically, what I didn't know is that the NA and EU regions have different directs shown with different footage in them, which is interesting to me. I never knew that, and I guess the one that we watched on Thursday would have been the EU version because I was streaming that from my computer at the time, which is interesting. But basically, someone picked up that the NA version of the Direct was showing the N64 games running in 60 hertz for the NTSC versions of the game, which is American TVs, if you're not aware. And the N64 games running on the EU version of Direct were running the 50 hertz PAL versions, their local versions for each respective reason. The reason this matter is that games of this era were made to accommodate US specifically, so they were built to run at 60 hertz. And the only way that most games could accommodate that while translating it over to EU is to make the game run 1/6 slower. So if you're growing up in this era and playing video games in the EU, you were playing them slower than your American counterpart, about 1/6, which is maybe something not a lot of people don't know. It's something I didn't know for a lot of years growing up. I just didn't pay attention to all that stuff. I wasn't into TVs and stuff. But yeah, I guess I was playing games slower than a lot of people, which is maybe why I haven't finished my backlog. There's no sign yet that Nintendo's going to let you switch between these versions. Mm-hmm. One of the fears that, as you mentioned, John, they touted that the N64 is going to let you play 4-player online stuff with the N64 games now. But
how does that work if you and I play?
Yeah, if it's true that it would be basically impossible for us to play online across regions, it just wouldn't work. So it's interesting. They had the same issue with the Wii Virtual Console, where it was split between the different regions. After a big outcry, they allowed you to switch to the 60 hertz version where possible. Now, there is a reason Nintendo isn't just doing this out of spite. Basically, the PAL versions of the game are the only way for a lot of Europeans to play in their native language, right? They'll have a variety of European languages in there. The NTSC version doesn't. It's mainly just English and Spanish and a few other languages that would be appropriate to that region. So it's interesting. This is something that I guess I didn't notice growing up, but now is going to be the only thing on my mind when I open the N64 app.
It is a big thing as someone who really enjoys the retro collecting game. It's one of those I learned about this a long time ago, and a lot of the retro someone can correct me in chat. I want to say, and I've been looking at this one, the Retro Tink. If you actually buy a PAL version of the console by the PAL game, you pop this bad boy into the Retro Tink, and it will be able to. You can play normal hardware, OG hardware, OG cart, but you actually have to tell the Tink to actually kick it up to the right hertz, so you play it in a frame rate that you're used to. Because you're right, it's 1/16 or 1/6. I'm sorry, of the speed. Yeah. So you are slower when you're playing PAL games comparative to North American NTSC games, and it is. I did not think about this concept, and I knew about it, and then as we were talking about this right now, I never thought about the idea of how insane it would actually be if we do an How to Play Games stream, and it's going to be us playing Mario Kart in this bad boy, and you're technically at a disadvantage because it is slower, possibly.
Right. It's interesting to see how they solve that, but yeah it's going to be a problem.
It is going to be a huge problem. Hopefully they'll get it fixed, and 60 is kind of the standard now. You don't got over there. There's no different hertz now because they're all kind of on LCDs and LEDs, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the region thing doesn't matter anymore for modern games. Most modern games past, I think, the PS3 era, once we all switched to HDMI and stuff, HD TVs,
it's all kind of the same.
Doesn't matter anymore. But that era, that sort of 90s, early 2000s era, there was definitely a split there for a long time.
Okay. Let's talk about this Mario movie. Okay. How are we feeling after 2 days of being removed of Chris Pratt being Super Mario? How are we feeling about it right now? Everyone, chat, let me know. Finn, how are you feeling? I do like that there is actually, again, from Eurogamer kind of picking up the slack and letting us know. Talk to Chris Pratt. There was a coin, and this is Chris Pratt. There was a coin-operated laundromat by my house, and it had Super Mario Bros., the original arcade game. I love that game. I never had a quarter. I had to steal it from the wishing well. But as it was right now, it's a me Mario. That's not a voice. You'll have to wait to hear the voice, but we've been working hard on it. And I know there's a lot of people who are... The Chris Pratt thing is the one thing that they're like, this is weird. I don't know how I feel about this game. Everything else is fine.
Yeah.
Finn, are you still there? Are you still on that one?
Yes, my stance has not changed. Every single member of the cast, even Seth Rogen, Donkey Kong, is filling me with delight. Except for Chris Pratt.
Have you seen the Donkey on Twitter,
yes.
Donkey Kong laughing, and it's Seth Rogen? I'm like, God damn, that is great.
I believe every single human in existence has seen that video by now. It is fantastic.
Yeah.
Charlie Day from Always Sunny, doing the string that you mentioned, but wearing the Luigi hat, all of it's perfect.
Yeah.
It's like he made a joke of it. He's very self-aware, Chris Pratt. He does the joke on his Instagram. It's like, it's a me Mario, hey, but that's not the voice. You're gonna have to wait for the voice. So he doesn't people are wondering does he do an Italian accent? I don't know.
I
don't
hope
know what the right way
doesn't.
to go with that is.
Let's be honest. In 2022, you cannot let him do an Italian accent.
Yeah,
and I just go ahead. Get it out, Finn.
It's just gonna be so weird because have you seen that video where it's edited clearly, but it's Mario and Luigi at the Kids' Choice Awards. It's like, hey, it's a Mario, and then it pans over and it's like, hello, I'm Luigi, and this is the Kids' Choice, and it's very disturbing, and I cannot get that out of my head when I think of Chris Pratt as Mario. It just
Okay, so here's what I want to pose to everyone. You guys tell me what you think. Are we with this game with this movie? Are we going to be full on being pulled into the Mario universe like the Jumanji remake? Are we starting out in the Mushroom Kingdom? How do you think this movie actually starts out? Also, please, Rose, I hope you have up. I've lost my feed of our boy Boss Logic kind of giving us what a live action Mario would look like with Chris Pratt with a Yoshi. That's freaking amazing, and I absolutely love that
for sure. But yeah, we don't even have a synopsis for this film yet. There it is. That's fucking hilarious. I love that. I don't know. It's weird. Cranky Kong is in this movie. I don't understand how Cranky Kong.
I'm gonna be honest with you. That's the one I find weird. Chris Pratt being in here. Yes, you got to get mom and dad in here. Mom and dad probably are my age. I played Mario that was the first freaking game that I played. But you got to get grandma and grandpa in here, and they know Chris Pratt. They don't know who Mario is. He's still around. I remember playing that when I had 2 buttons. I'm like, yes, mom and dad, they're still around, grandma and grandpa. But you got to get them. You have star power. You need that star power to get the people into this game or in this movie. And so
is Mario gonna have sex appeal? Are they trying to
Chris
pull
Pratt has sex
for this
Does
movie?
Mario not? He has a dump truck ass, man. He's got a squat to actually do some freaking he's got to clear your pipes, ma'am. I'm here to clear your pipes.
Maybe there's different opinions on this in chat, and I'll be eager to hear them. But to me, Mario is one of, if not the most inherently unsexy video game character there is. They're not trying to make him unsexy, they're just trying to remove that from the equation. But I feel like when Chris Pratt is involved,
when Chris Pratt his voice is sexy, and we need Mario to be sexy.
Finn, I got you. Are you watching?
Yeah. Okay,
there you go. There you go.
Yeah.
There's the answer to your question.
Yeah, fantastic. Yeah, I guess he did have his nips out in Odyssey.
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
We
got to see more Mario.
Maybe they're trying to make him more sexy, right? As the audience grows up, they're like, "Hey, let's give you some nip, all right? Let's give you some Chris Pratt in here."
Here I go. Yo.
Luigi, though, an absolute stud.
Oh yeah.
So 100%. Charlie Day was perfect for that. Yeah.
I don't remember. I was on stream last night and we were like, man, I'm surprised. Oh, people were calling about Danny DeVito should have been freaking Mario. I'm like, guys, I got you. I got you right now. Danny DeVito needs to be Waluigi. There you go. You're done. I won the internet for you. Danny DeVito as Waluigi, 100% perfect.
No, Danny DeVito was Wario.
Wario. I'm sorry, Wario.
Yeah, Wario.
Danny DeVito as Wario is where that needs to be at. That's what you want in this world. I give that to you. All right.
Guys, hold on.
What?
I found your sex appeal.
Oh my God.
I found your Mario sex appeal. He's on a pole and everything.
What do you Google to get that result?
Mario's butt.
Oh my god. Oh my god.
Okay.
Bayonetta 3 was announced.
Yeah,
it looks
I guess
freaking awesome.
If we're on the subject,
We're on the sex appeal, baby. Let's go Bayonetta 3. She can step on
segue.
me.
Oh,
Off the rails.
I once this direct was done, I put like multiple images in the group chat and got bunked like 50 times. This was and probably will be my trailer of the year.
Yes.
This Bayonetta 3 trailer is absolutely fantastic. From the what's going on in the front or at the beginning of the trailer to is this a whole like other thing that Platinum are doing to oh no, it's the Astral Chain dog to no, it's what you thought it was originally. It's Bayonetta. She looks like a badass. She looks like an absolute queen. She talks directly
is our
to
queen.
you. Yeah, she talks directly to you when she says, it seems I'm unfashionably late, but I'm about to give you everything you wanted.
Oh my god, yes, please.
And then slips directly into gameplay. That looks
God,
crisp.
it's so freaking good.
Can't wait to play this game. Can't wait to play this game. I want it
I'm
next. I want it next.
so excited. This game was first announced in 2017, which is insane to me. But worth the wait, guys. It is going to be worth the wait.
Never played Bayonetta 1 or 2. Just
Oh
this
my
trailer
god,
told me.
dude. Bayonetta
Yeah.
2 kicks 1 kicks so much ass. I need to play 2. I haven't played it. We played 1. A smile on my face with the innuendos and just how smooth and like limber Bayonetta actually is when she's kicking ass. It is
I think I'm
fantastic.
gonna have to.
You're gonna have to, man.
Until 2022. Yeah.
Yep, you're gonna have to. All right. Let's get out of this. We might be going a little bit longer than I even anticipated, but we gotta talk about Perfect Dark. Finn, my friend, my brother in the gaming universe, talk to me about what's going on with this because this is crazy.
Right, so this just kind of, slipped in underneath the pile of direct news that happened. The initiative put out a tweet saying, Perfect Dark update, we are partnering with Crystal Dynamics, the world-class team behind character-driven games such as Tomb Raider, to bring the first-person spy thriller to a new generation. The teams couldn't pass up the opportunity to work together. We're still early in development, but incredibly excited to use this unique opportunity to deliver on the vision for Perfect Dark. So that is essentially the announcement. The initiative, the quadruple A Microsoft studio that was made a few years ago, has since been working on the Perfect Dark reboot, is now partnering up with Crystal Dynamics. They are co-developing this game. John, how did this announcement fare with you? Did it strike you as strange at all?
Very, very strange. I'm going to be absolutely honest with you, Alexis. I played the Tomb Raider games. I freaking love the Tomb Raider games. When you hear about and Microsoft's pushing this as a quadruple A, the initiative is quadruple A. I thought this was like full on, like ground up. We're bringing in our people. We're going to start this game. We're going to give you this game right. And all of a sudden, like you said, this was just out of nowhere. I just saw a tweet. I'm like, wait, what the hell? And it's, oh, hey, Crystal Dynamics, we're doing this. We're teaming up with the initiative, a first-party Xbox team to make a first-party Xbox game. But we are a third-party connected to Square Enix developer. Mm-hmm. And it just, I found that so weird.
Yeah. I think a lot of people, John, it's worth noting that two studios or two or more studios partnering up to work on a large project like this isn't unusual. In fact, it's fairly common. Some games that you might be aware of that have used multiple studios, Super Smash Bros., a lot of the heavy lifting on that for Ultimate was done by Bandai Namco. Metroid Dread is being worked on with another studio outside of Nintendo. Fire Emblem Three Houses was a partnership between Intelligent Systems and Koei Tecmo Games. Halo Infinite, there appears to be at least 5 studios working on that game, including the Coalition, but also including studios that are outside of Microsoft's sphere of influence. Gears 5 was 3 different studios. Crackdown 3 looked like 6, 7 studios working on it, because they were doing that weird cloud stuff and there was a lot of technologies working together. Maybe why that game ended up falling through, right? No cohesive vision. PlayStation are a little different. They don't tend to partner up many studios to work on their games. They sort of like do it all internally. But one example you might remember is Bloodborne, right? Primarily a FromSoft project, but was also working in cohesion with Sony Japan. Yeah. Mainly just, I don't know if there was any development work on that. It was mainly producing work, I think. But that was a partnership there. And yeah, third party, like Tetris Effect is one of my favorite games. That was developed by 3 different studios. Call of Duty games, Assassin's Creed games, most
Always.
of them are developed by multiple studios. They're very big projects. So it's not uncommon for this to happen.
No.
But there are a few things that make this story in particular different. One, normally when studios co-develop projects, especially first-party console games like this, it's done with a few internal studios, right? So like 343 and the Coalition work together on a lot of things, right? Because they're both inside of Microsoft and they both work on similar game shooters, so it makes sense for those two to work together and it keeps it inside the family, as it were. Or they specifically go to a studio that's built to outsource a project, right? Some outsourcing studios that might not like have the name fair of like studios that develop their own games, but like have the capacity to help a game reach the finish line. This is not that. Obviously, Crystal Dynamics do their own thing, so this is not an outsourcing studio, nor is it a Microsoft-owned studio, at least for now. Studios who co-develop games are normally either small outsourcing-focused teams, as I mentioned, or companies that are equipped to work on many different projects at the same time to ensure steady income. So, like, Koei Tecmo are really large. They can work on several different of their own games at a time, several different of, like, outsourcing projects and stuff, like helping different developers and stuff. Crystal Dynamics, while a big studio, primarily just tend to work on their own projects and don't really have the capacity to outsource a lot of that. As I mentioned, it's generally Nintendo who enter into these partnerships as well. Microsoft sometimes do it, but never to the scale, and almost it's never PlayStation. So this is interesting for Microsoft to appear to be doubling down on that, going a more Nintendo route about it. And possibly the weirdest thing is, as far as we know, Square Enix is getting no publishing rights on this project.
Yeah.
So they are basically licensing out their biggest Western studio that I know of to help someone else's game.
Yep.
Which is like...
It's weird.
I think Jeff Grubb did it on Twitter where it's like McDonald's asking Arby's to help them make food, right? It's that level. It's like just these two
It's a
behemoths.
very, very odd level. I want to say, too, I think Crystal Dynamics recently just opened a studio in Austin, here in Texas. So I see like them growing and whatnot, but Crystal Dynamics is connected to PlayStation to me in my head, which I know is not 100%. It's just in my head because when you think about it, I know Xbox paid a shit ton of money to get the rights to Rise of the Tomb Raider, to have that exclusivity for a year. And so, and looking at like we're getting into the links. I'm not going to really worry about that one because I know what you're about to talk about. Is just it's odd because Jeff Grubb's right. Like, Wendy's, come help McDonald's make the burgers, and I'm like, but we have square patties. McDonald's has circle patties. How do we do this? It is very strange, and I'm throwing this out there as a question. We don't have to answer it. Is this a precedent on the idea of maybe Microsoft, maybe Papa Phil's not done? Maybe Papa Phil's not done, and I will circle us back to that after we talk about the links.
Right. Yeah. I'm not aware of Crystal Dynamics being for sale, but Square Enix have let go of at least one of their big studios in the past. They let go of IO Interactive when they wanted to go their own way and develop their own Hitman games. So I guess they would be up for that. I'm not expecting an acquisition, but as you mentioned, one of the things that sort of point a direction to this and maybe said we should have expected it is that there are a lot of existing links between the Initiative and Crystal Dynamics. The Initiative being a studio mainly that have only been created in the past few years, and so we're still getting set up as a studio, as a company. So the studios have a lot more in common than you might realize. The Initiative studio head, Daryl Gallagher, was the head of the studio of Crystal Dynamics from 2009 to 2016. Obviously, that basically covers a lot of the Tomb Raider reboot stuff during that time, and also counts Tomb Raider reboot's director Daniel Neuberger among its ranks, who was, another previous Crystal Dynamics guy, headed up Tomb Raider stuff, now working for the Initiative. I did a quick search on LinkedIn, so at least 8 higher up people that previously worked at Crystal Dynamics are now at the Initiative. So there are a lot of links there.
Yeah.
Worth noting that the Initiative is a Santa Monica-based studio and basically got all of their talent from different studios in the area, so it's not uncommon for
jumping ship,
EA,
trying new things,
Activision, to be all in there as well. So it's an amalgamation of a bunch of different studios, but there is definitely links there between the two studios. So maybe this is something we should have seen coming. Maybe this is something where, again, they're trying to set up the Initiative as its first project. It's ambitious. They're pushing this as a quadruple A game. It's a big, serious Perfect Dark, so they want to get it right. So maybe they're saying, hey, more established studio that we know the culture from, and we can hopefully translate that into this and sort of get a head start with a lot of this stuff.
Yeah, a studio that kind of has a good foundation as we're still trying to build our foundation as the initiative. I don't hate the idea. It makes a lot of sense with the connections. Like, hey, we know their culture. Especially when we're talking about like David Gallagher, who's built that culture. Let's just move it over there. But oh, by the way, we have other people we can bring in to kind of help us out with the nuts and bolts that is building this game. Because I don't know about you, I feel like this game is like 4 years out still.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Super early. And it's making me think that, was this a thing where development started at the initiative and they were like, okay, there's a lot of things not going quite right here, we need to bring in some help? Or is this what the quadruple A tagline that the initiative was built on meant all along? Maybe it means, maybe a quadruple A game is 2 AAA studios merging to make one project. Maybe that's what it meant the whole time. Maybe this was always the plan.
Wouldn't have been a sextuple a day? Isn't that 6?
If you're doing pars...
if we do powers, would it be like a triple power to the 2?
A to the power of 4.
Are you trying to say the word sextuplet?
I don't know what I'm trying to say. I'm the
what
host
you were
here
trying
at
to
Now to
say?
Play Games, and I have no idea what the hell I'm trying to say.
I'm not sure what you said, but I think you were trying to say sextuplet.
Sure.
I think the people at home figured.
Yeah, look, they know what John's talking about. You know what you're getting. All right?
Nobody knows what John's talking about.
So we get what this project gains from having Crystal Dynamics in it, right? We get what Microsoft gained from leveraging the power of this massive studio to add it to their ranks, basically, for the mid to long term future, right?
Yes.
But what do Crystal Dynamics, what does Square Enix get out of this? They tweeted in response to the initiative's tweet saying, "We're thrilled to add Perfect Dark to our development efforts alongside Marvel's Avengers and Tomb Raider." So that means we're going to have 3 projects at once if you count this Perfect Dark thing.
Yes.
When it comes to Avengers, they just announced their roadmap for 2022, so they're continuing support for that game at least until the end of the year, maybe beyond. For Tomb Raider, obviously they just had their 25th anniversary stuff. They heavily implied that they're going to be like the Lara Croft story's not done. They're going to keep making Tomb Raider games, and obviously Crystal Dynamics confirming in this tweet that they're at least thinking about making another Tomb Raider game if they haven't already started development with that.
Yeah, the not the Bourne Identity, but the Tomb Raider like being made concept, that trilogy, the intro trilogy is done at Crystal Dynamics, and that's something that I hope they do, because I think that the games are pretty fun and I enjoy those. One thing I want to ask real fast with you, Tim, God damn it.
Did you just try to say Keith too?
I was trying to say everything, guys.
Finn, he didn't try to call you Rose.
I'm
so
4 shots
good.
into espresso. I'm sorry. I'm having issues right now. When I think you and I made a bet about this game. I tried to find this bet, and I could not find it anywhere in our Discord. Okay,
I bet I can find it.
I bet find it. And the bet is: was this game going to be a first-person or a third-person game?
Oh yeah. So
we made this bet, and I was trying to find it all up and down our Discord, and I, for the life of me, could not find it.
Did you search for bets?
I did, and it wasn't in there.
Okay.
I'm going to find it.
Go find it, and I'll explain why. In the Initiative Suites Perfect Dark Update, we're partnering with Crystal Dynamics, the world-class team behind character-driven games such as Tomb Raider, to bring this first-person spy thriller to new generation. And right there, that's when I was like, shit, it's a first-person game. And you dancing, I was like, I'm pretty sure I said it was going to be a third-person, because they need a third-person game to fight Sony. And you're like, no, it's freaking Perfect Dark. It's got to be first person. Did you? Yes. Am I right? Are you first person?
Will Perfect Dark be a first or third person game? Finn first, John third.
God damn it. Okay, that's fine.
Just can't get a win these days, can you? And Crash Bandicoot's coming up as well. You're gonna have a lot to do, bud.
I accept. Oh, we can go into those bets. I wanted to pull one up. I'm like, hey, I won this one, but you know what? I accept defeat on this one. I accept defeat on this one, because I was like, oh, hey, look, it's a first-person game. That's fine. That's what people know Perfect Dark as. You know what? I accept that. That's perfectly fine.
Yeah. So if we want to wrap up this Perfect Dark story with a bow, basically, like, my looming question to this is, like, what does this say about Square Enix's vision for Crystal Dynamics, for Tomb Raider, that they're just willing to like let this go. My head, John, I think that Square Enix expected Avengers to be a way bigger hit than it was.
Yes.
It hasn't panned out that way, so they can no longer devote all their time to Avengers for years and years and years and years. So I feel like once 2022's done, the content well for Avengers is going to dry up. They're going to then move on to a Tomb Raider game. In the meantime, they need to like refocus, because sinking that much time into Avengers and not yielding the results they're expecting is going to just be a massive sink of resources. So I think they saw a big check from Microsoft and went, hey, you know what? This is our way.
We will take this money and stay in the black for everyone, so we don't get looked at when it's chopping block time. I actually agree. The Avengers is not a hit. 100% Avengers is not a hit for Crystal Dynamics or for Square Enix. So yes, you're 100% right. I think they needed to do something. Let's go back to Tomb Raider, which sucks though, because Tomb Raider 3 was not a big hit. Like it still was a miss. I think it did well, but I think critically was not a hit. So you've got
dipped my toe into all three games, finished the first two, and yes, they were all fantastically made games, but for some reason
3
is not something I want to shout from the rooftops about. Is not something that did like the sales numbers that I feel like it should have. It's just something that constantly slips under the radar, I feel.
So Crystal Dynamics, you're on 2 strikes. Let's if you got 2 strikes on you. You got this one and you got Avengers, which sucks. I actually really enjoy Crystal Dynamics, and so I think them going to Xbox or Xbox going to them going, hey, we've got this interconnected tissue. We're trying to make something big. We need your development team. We need all this stuff that is built, because we have those people now. We have those key people. Let us use Crystal Dynamics. Here is a fat check, and we're good to go, right? And I feel like that is what's happening in the eyes of Square Enix. I'm not gonna say be prepared, but I don't know how this works out. Like, does Square Enix all right, we got this fat check. You know what? We don't really need Tomb Raider. Here's this. You can have it. Like, just pop a fill by Crystal Dynamics. I don't think so. I think this would be enough, in my opinion, that Crystal Dynamics should be good. If this is a hit, if Tomb Raider 4 is a hit, and they find something and they just redo it, because Avengers, it can't go past 2022, especially after the rumors I've been hearing about how good Guardians is. Like, I've heard way too many good rumors about Guardians. Like, the hands-on previews they have, it is going to wipe the floor with Avengers. I would be like, all right, at the end of 2021 or whenever we're done with 2022, in the sense of what's going on with Avengers, we're done. We're wiping our hands clean, and we continue on with life with something else. So I think that, all in all, I need Crystal Dynamics. I want Crystal Dynamics to have a hit. That's what I need. I need a home run from them, just because it's Crystal Dynamics. They do make good games. Yeah, everyone has a couple misses. Just let's get them a W underneath their belt.
That's the thing. It's not even a miss. Tomb Raider was good. You're enjoying Avengers. It's just not.
It's not a full miss. It's just money. I mean, money talks. That's what sucks about it.
Part of me also, just last thing, doesn't want to believe that Square Enix would just take a check. Part of me feels like there's some backdoor shady deals. I don't know what Microsoft IP could have, but maybe Square Enix wanted it for one of their studios, or maybe they wanted to leverage one of Microsoft studios for one of their projects. I don't know.
That would be cool.
I wouldn't be surprised if something comes up in the near to mid future about another Square Enix Microsoft partnership, this time favoring Square Enix.
Finn?
Mm-hmm.
Did you just say that you don't think Square Enix is just looking for a check? The company who has done 3 different versions of the same game, a 1.5 remix of every single game they make, a definitive edition after everything comes out. I mean, just everything. They remake all of their games 50 times and make you pay for every single one. It might be at a discount.
Maybe it's just one of those things where, Kingdom Hearts 4, they just want Master Chief to be in there alongside Mickey Mouse and a bunch of those guys. You know what I mean?
Let's not put it past them.
We can do that.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that is savage. Not wrong. All right, with that, let's call that an episode. I'm just going to go off script because everyone hates my scripts now. So, if you're here with us right now, hang out with us for a little bit. We're going to do a post show. It'll be really quick because we actually have family stuff we have to go take care of, Rose and I. Thank you so much for hanging out. Please follow us here on twitch.tv/nowtoplaygames. This podcast will be a video version over on the YouTube channel. Please search Now to Play Games on YouTube. Please sub there because we really want the custom URL. If you do this on podcast services, you know what? Just search Now to Play Games. It's everywhere. I've even listened to this podcast on Amazon Music. I didn't know they had podcasts, and I listened to us there, so I think that's cool. We're everywhere. If we're not where you are, let us know. Tweet at us at Now to Play Games. Tweet at me. It's John Box. I don't care. I will figure out how to go where you are because you are the people, and we love you. I'm Uncle John. That's Uncle Finn. Andy Rose is back there. You guys have been great. We love you. Go play some games, and we'll see you next week.